Hello everyone, welcome to yet an exciting episode with us. My name is Negesa Hannah Heizo, your host today. And in studio today I have very interesting people, and then they will tell us where they are coming from. They'll give us an overview of the project they are working on, and they will also give us an overview of the key topics that we're going to talk about today. We should start with introductions, I guess. For a gentleman or lady?
Ladies first.
Ladies first?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. The lady next to me first.
Yeah.
Christine Mirembe, representing Reproductive Health Uganda on the Youth Advisory Committee of the SRHR Alliance.
You're welcome.
Hi everyone, my name is Martha Mugabe. I am an SRHR advocate and I work with Reproductive Health Uganda, but I also sit on the Youth Advisory Committee for the Right Here Right Now project.
Okay, you're welcome. Yes.
Yes, hi, I'm John Jesse Navondesi. I'm glad to be the only male on this panel.
And we are also honored to have you.
Yeah, sure. And I am also a member of the Youth Advisory Committee under the Right Here Right Now program, representing the Center for Health, Human Rights and Development, and a youth activist globally. Thank you.
I think I'm sad to say I'm seated amidst honorable members in the presence of wisdom, if I must say. Yes, Jesse, I think you should give us an overview of what the project you're working on, the Right Here Right Now, what it is all about. Yeah.
So the Right Here Right Now project is a global partnership. It brings together youth-led and youth-serving organizations from different parts of the world.
Okay.
And in Uganda, it is a coalition of 7 organizations working to promote young people's sexual and reproductive health and rights.
Okay.
Right from the communities, through outreach and awareness creation, right to the national level where we have litigation and policy advocacy. And we also have the Youth Advisory Committee under the project, as I introduced myself, as a member of the Youth Advisory Committee and Right Here Right Now, which in this case advises the different organizations within the project on how to handle issues concerning the young people, how to bring about initiatives that speak to the young people. Thank you.
Okay, the young people. For today, I'm going to request to concentrate on menstrual health, the girls, and of course the boys as well, because the boys need the knowledge on menstrual health, right?
Yeah, sure.
So, Right Here, Right Now, are you also talking about the menstrual health and rights?
Yes, it's sexual and reproductive health and rights in general, including menstrual hygiene management.
Okay, I think I'll go back to Christine.
Yes.
So, Christine, how can we make sure that the schools in Uganda have enough sanitary towels or maybe products for the girls?
I think by pushing for government policies that mandate free menstrual products in schools, and also making sure there are clean washrooms for the girls.
The toilets.
The toilets with water, soap, and also proper waste disposal, and also making sure that these toilets are also accessible to also the girls that are living with disability.
You talked about toilets, and I believe that starts with the girls as well. Have we already taught, are we teaching these girls how to dispose these sanitary towels well, how to maintain their hygiene well, the toilets, because the cleaners are not going to be there 24/7. They'll be there maybe when the head teacher is around and leave. Have we gone to these schools and taught them how the sanitary towels should be disposed properly?
Yeah, we have to some schools, but I also believe that we should push for it to be part of the new curriculum, where both girls and boys are taught about menstrual health and hygiene.
Oh, okay. Why do you think it is important for young people, especially the girls, to speak openly about menstrual health? Might be girls, boys, why do you think it is important for them to have these open conversations about it?
Okay, thank you. I'm going to add on what Christine has been talking about.
Okay.
So under the Right Here Right Now project, as the YAC, we have gone to different schools mostly in Fort Portal and also Captura, where we've taught girls how to make our...
Oh, so you've also reached up country.
Yes.
Hey, that's good. Inclusivity.
So, we have taught them how to make reusable sanitary pads. And in this, we've also taught them how to dispose them of, but also how to take care of their hygiene.
Okay.
In general. We've also done this through the Alliance Week, where we've gone to different districts to teach, to do menstrual hygiene in the different schools. Okay, so it's encouraged for girls to have open conversations about menstrual health and hygiene, because first of all, it helps to break the stigma. We have seen that there is a lot of stigma around menstrual health and hygiene, where periods are regarded dirty, where girls are not even allowed to cook, they're not allowed to go to church. So if we have open conversations about such menstrual hygiene, it helps to break such stigmas, to put it out there that as much as I'm going through my period, it's something that is natural, and I can still cook and nothing will happen to the food. But it also helps to empower girls. So we've seen girls miss school because they're on their periods, because they don't have access to menstrual pads, they're having cramps and all that. So when you have open conversations about menstrual hygiene, a student can go and tell the teacher that, I'm going through cramps, I have cramps, and then she can go to the nurse and get tablets. So it helps girls to be confident, to have these conversations with the teachers, with the school nurse, but also with fellow students, because you can be in class and then you're going through a lot of pain and you can't speak to anyone. But when we have these open conversations, it makes it easy for a girl to open up.
Yeah, that's actually good. You talked about somewhere you have chipped in about the myths. You've also talked about the stigma around menstrual health. I will get there though. If I remember correctly, you talked about the government policies. Now I'm going to direct it to Jessie. What changes do you think our government should make to improve menstrual health for young people?
When we are talking about improvement, I think we shouldn't also miss out the fact that the government has at least done a few things to see that there is an advancement in menstrual hygiene management amongst the young girls in the communities where we come from.
Through different projects, of course.
Exactly. So we have what we call the National Menstrual Hygiene Management Strategic Plan.
Okay.
I think this needs to at least come out strongly. It needs to be implemented fully, not just remaining on paper, but rather we need to see that at least there is core funding for the implementation of this plan, so that we get to the realization.
Core funding, we're talking about money from the government to support.
Exactly.
Okay. Sorry.
Exactly. So that we see that even the young girls coming from the rural areas at least have the fruits that are coming from this government strategic plan. Secondly, I would call out to the Ministry of Education to scale up at least.
As you're making that statement, it's a very big statement, it's important.
Yeah, true.
I'm going to request you see where you just look straight and make that statement so that the message is gotten clearly.
Yeah, so I would like to call out to the Ministry of Education to ensure that we scale out conversations on menstrual hygiene management in the school curriculum, most especially, to move out from speaking about menstruation when it comes to only the science in schools, but also talk about menstruation as a norm, as something that is normal for young girls to go through, so that this not only just deals with the stigma and discrimination that comes around menstruation, but it also empowers, as my colleague Martha said earlier, empowers the young girls, but also the boys with the information that they need to go through this stage. Yeah, thank you.
I am going to assume the message has been passed on.
Yeah, true.
To Christine, what can we do to teach both boys and girls that menstruation is normal and nothing to be ashamed of?
Encouraging open conversations
As
around,
we stated,
menstrual health. And also, if this is also like put into the new curriculum, I mean, they're all in class, so it would also normalize the conversation. I mean, they'll realize that it's something normal for the girls to go through.
Okay. Do any of our speakers, would you want to contribute to that? What do you think should be taught to both boys and girls to normalize the menstruation? Because we are trying to make the girls feel at home when it comes to this period. What do you think can be done? She has something else to add on.
maybe managing the signs that come with menstruation.
Menstruation,
Yeah,
okay.
like cramps. Let's say talk about how do you support a girl going through cramps? What would you do if, let's say, your sister, your classmate had cramps?
Yes, this you had something.
Exactly. Yeah. So she talked about earlier the making of reusable pads.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is something that under right here, right now, we're already doing in schools.
You're already
But this,
making the reusable
exactly,
sanitary towels.
and teaching the young people both in schools and out of schools through different initiatives like the Alliance Week.
Okay.
But this needs to be embedded directly in the school curriculum, not
Oh,
just exactly this needs to be part of the curriculum itself. And also a key topic would be male involvement, because as young boys and men we coexist with the girls
yeah,
and young
that's true.
women who go through this normal process. So I think in order for us to also normalize this whole discussion, we need to ensure that there is more male involvement in issues to do with menstrual hygiene management.
Okay, you have another?
And just to like add
To
on
add on what is,
what
yeah,
you
yeah.
said,
Okay.
maybe we could have the male role models, like culture leaders,
The
Yeah.
culture
that male
leaders.
teachers, like the
Yeah.
yeah, the male teachers in schools conduct these conversations to normalize.
We can,
So, hey,
we
you have
can-
something, sorry.
Yeah, sure.
yeah, we can also have instead of having you see how we have like condom banks everywhere.
Okay.
We should also have like, let me say, pad banks where in if a girl is in school and she gets her period, she can just go to like a pad bank and get a pad
A
out.
pad,
Yes, and go
oh.
and use.
Just like those ones that are in the toilets.
Yes, in the toilet, so they can be
That
stuck
could
there
actually
and-
work.
We have
Because you know
pad
this.
banks.
We
In-
actually
in the
do-
toilets,
Yeah, in
yeah.
our toilets, we actually have
Yeah.
the condom banks. I feel like her point is actually very valid because
Yeah.
when it comes to menstruation, remember it's something that is not prepared for.
Yeah.
Like it just comes.
Yeah.
Someone can be in class, for example, for students.
Sure.
You stand up and maybe you're stained. If you're lucky enough and a girl has seen you, just wraps a sweater around you.
Yeah.
So who are you going to explain to that, please open for me that door to get a pad? Usually the teachers on duty look at it as an excuse. Why are you
Yeah.
skipping class? You get. So her point is valid. Maybe
true.
to the schools out there, they could they would do that. Instead
But-
of course condom banks, they could do
the pad banks
The
in
pad-
the toilets.
Yeah.
exactly. To Christine,
Yeah.
Martha.
Martha.
To Martha, yeah. What message would you give someone who still feels embarrassed about talking about periods?
My message to someone that still feels embarrassed talking about periods is first of all, periods are normal.
Okay.
For every woman, for every person that has a uterus, they're supposed to go through a period. And if you have, let me say, a uterus and you're not having a period, you're supposed to go and see a doctor and get medical help. So periods are not something to be embarrassed about. It is something that is normal. It is something that has led to our existence, as I mean, everyone here is
Yeah, that's
as a
true.
result of a period. So it's something that people should be confident talking about. And the more we have these conversations about periods, it helps the girls down there to also be open and talk about them. You find a girl is having issues with her period. She doesn't have, let me say, pads, or she's having terrible cramps. But because in certain communities, periods are something that is not supposed to be talked about, so she suffers silently. But the more we have these conversations, the more we have people come up, speak up about their challenges, but also it encourages them to get medical attention in case they're having issues. Yeah.
Okay.
It actually deserves to be celebrated because it's a whole beginning of a new stage in life
For a girl, yeah,
For a
yeah,
girl,
yeah.
because it brings life. It shows that this person probably has gotten to a stage in their life where they are of reproductive age, not necessarily meaning that they need to start engaging in
In the
reproduction.
sexual.
Yeah, but at least biologically it shows that they're now changing to a different stage of life.
Okay.
And the reason as to why we need to normalize such conversations also to the boys and men out there we need to see this as a normal process. I don't want it to be like just so if you're lucky, probably a girl has seen you stain yourself. Even when a boy sees you staining your dress or
is
skirt,
okay.
it should be fine.
Yeah.
It should be fine. This young man needs to know that, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to be empathetic to this young girl because right now they are going through a certain normal
stage.
process.
To add on what he has said, you know, when we normalize conversations amongst the males, they have sisters, they have mothers, they have girlfriends, they have wives. So when we have these conversations, it helps the boys to know how better to support the girls. Because you find a girl is complaining, oh, I'm on my period and my boyfriend is avoiding me, and you're like, why are you avoiding her? Because most of them have grown up in societies where menstruation is regarded maybe as dirty and all that. But when you have these conversations, it helps the boys, you know, like your girlfriend is having, let me say, cramps. How do you support her? Maybe she needs a back massage, or she's having cravings. Just get her like a chocolate or anything, whatever she's craving. So it helps them to support their sisters, their girlfriends, their wives better.
Okay, just to get into this situation, has any of us gotten into that situation, that awkward moment?
Which one exactly?
For example, in school, where you've gotten me, I've not gotten my period in class yet, but of course I'm not a student. But do you have a friend who like got their period, and then they stood up and you either saw and you helped them? Like, what was the whole situation like?
I have had an experience.
You tell us.
No, but I was 9 years old. I have an elder sister.
Which class were you in 9 years old?
I was in P4, I guess. Yeah, around P4 there.
There was a girl in your class?
Not in my class, my
Okay.
elder sister. It was during holidays, and yeah, we were like playing cards outside. But by the time we got done, she stood up and she had stained her dress. I remember it was like a green and white dress, if my memory is right. And then when she stood, so I started like making a lot of noise. I got scared. I was like, okay, what if something cut her or anything like that?
The situation I wanted, making noise. Why are you shouting?
Like, had no idea about menstruation in P4.
Okay.
I had no idea.
So what did you do?
I went and called mom.
Anyway, 4 years, 9 years in
exactly.
P4. Let's not judge you like that, but anyway, the whole point of us having this conversation, we want to let you know that it is normal when you see someone has stained their dress or someone is acting up, because us girls, some people have their periods and their whole mood or their whole environment changes. So just try to make it comfortable for them. You don't have to begin attaching feelings, and it is also going through something, you know. As a youth advocate, how do you involve your community in fighting stigma around these projects?
I train, like, together with my fellow young advocates. We train young people both in school and out of school, firstly on how to make reusable sanitary pads. And this is actually a very unique model because we ensure that we don't make the reusable sanitary pads in shape of a pad. Like, someone probably couldn't notice that this is a pad if they saw it hang probably on a wire.
So you guys have even changed the design of an actual pad.
To
Do you have a
also
sample
tackle
you show
stigma.
us? Because have you seen a different design? You have?
No.
Do you have a sample you show? You have?
Right? Yes, it is circular.
You have circular pads?
Yeah, it is. It
Oh,
is
yeah, I think
circular.
I've seen that.
Okay.
It is circular, but when you put it on
Open conversation.
on the panty
Open
and you're
conversation.
going to put it on, it is actually a pad. So we have made this in a unique way.
How long though? How long do you have to wear it? The ones you people are making?
How long?
Yeah, like the period.
It depends on the
Depends on your
flow.
flow.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the flow.
So it's still the same as the ones that we actually use.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing those circular pads, man. We have not seen them. Please,
No,
have
but
seen.
these are some
think I
experience.
have
Have you
seen.
tried them?
No, I haven't
Not even
tried
seen.
them,
Have
but
you
I've
tried them?
But you know the market, there are those should I call them pampers?
Yeah.
Yes. So those are actually very good for night.
Okay.
So you wear it like
guys,
a diaper.
these are new things.
And they're actually so comfortable because like turn around, you're not scared of it's going to leak or anything. It's
The fluid.
comfortable.
ladies and gentlemen, new things actually happening over here, and I'm really glad we had this conversation. I am looking forward to more of these conversations because, as I said, we are learning to relearn and unlearn.
Yeah.
We don't know these things. We go out there in different communities, we preach different things that we have gone out there to preach, and we discover new things. So the whole point of today's conversation, we really wanted to let you know that we shouldn't be embarrassed. Whether you're a girl or a boy, when you're in your period, please do not run and hide. It is very normal to go through that process. Reach out to someone in case you need help. The products are available. People are making different pads, different type of pads. So reach out to anyone. They will gladly help you. Thank you so much. It's been lovely having you guys here today, having this conversation, and we look forward to another episode. Stay tuned. Peace.
Peace.